Riffin with Griffin. And you know how we do, so let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your favorite podcast.
Riffin with Griffin, yeah.
Whoa, whoa, yeah.
Riffin with Griffin.
Riffin with Griffin.
Riffin with Griffin, yeah.
Whoa, whoa,
Riffin with Griffin, baby. Riffin with Griffin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Riffin with Griffin. Live on a Wednesday, YouTubers. Thank you for being here. Today, I went and saw Barbie. I got Rachel to go see Barbie, and so we saw that. So I have a full review of that. Big Brother 25. I love Big Brother, but it's a hot mess. Plus a bunch of other news and notes and weird stories from around the world. But once again, Riffin with Griffin.
Riffin with Griffin, yeah.
Whoa, whoa.
Riffin with Griffin.
Riffin with Griffin.
Riffin with Griffin, yeah.
Yeah, voice is feeling milky today, y'all. Milky voice today. So I'm glad we got that out the way. Welcome back to Riffin with Griffin, everybody. Welcome back to Riffin with Griffin, everybody. Yeah, so wait, you know what? Before I even get into all that, we don't want to see that yet because it's not supposed to be there yet. It's supposed to be something else. Yeah, there we go. See, I did it. Yeah, welcome back to Riffin with Griffin, y'all. As you know, thank you. Please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, y'all. Hit that subscribe and get the notifications so you know when I'm going live. You know what I mean? So thank you for that. And, if you're on Twitch, if you want to see me on Twitch and game, I game every day, Erik Griffin Gaming. I also have a gaming channel on YouTube. Erik Griffin Gaming is also on YouTube, where I put up a lot of like the Twitch content. If you don't like Twitch or you don't have Twitch, I put my gaming videos up there, so make sure you watch that. And extra content coming to Patreon, as you know. But you could be a Patreon member, YouTube member, or Twitch subscriber, and you'll get, the Erik Griffin content. So thanks for that. Thanks for coming out. Guys, I got some dates coming up. So, and just be on the lookout for that. I'm actually going to go do a lot of shows with Matt Rife, my good buddy Matt, because he's doing a new Netflix special, and I'm going to be like helping him produce that. So I'm going to go on, do some road dates and, help him, organize his set and that kind of stuff, throw some ideas off of me. And you know what I mean? I just like helping that kid because he's like, he really did it. He made it. But in terms of me, so I got those dates, but they're already sold out, so it don't even matter. The kid. But I'm going to be in the Ice House. If you are in the Los Angeles, Pasadena area, I'm doing one show at the Ice House on August 17th. You can go to my website, ericgriffin.com, and get your tickets now, You know what I mean? You could go get your tickets now at ericgriffin.com, my terrible website. I'm still working on it. But I'm also coming to Kansas City August 24th through the 26th. So if you're in Kansas City area, check me out. And then September 7th through the 9th, I'm going to be at the Comedy Zone Jacksonville. And I got some more dates coming up, but those are the most recent ones that are coming up. And, check back for like changes in that. So thanks for coming out, guys. Today's episode, yeah, man, I went and saw Barbie. So that's the update of the week right now, is that Rachel was feeling good. The nausea comes and goes. Some days she's feeling sick, but the other day we had a nice breakfast, and then we went to the movies and we saw Barbie. So I'll tell you about that. I have my big Barbie review, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, and that's pretty much the pregnancy update. for that. We're trucking along. I like how like you have these great pregnancy apps, and they'll tell you your baby is as big as an avocado today. It's like, I don't know. I guess that's for scale. I guess if you're looking at stuff and you're like, what's the scale of it? Like then it'll be like, oh, your baby's an onion. You're just kind of like, well, this is cool. So that's cool stuff going on. And I got some weird stories too. I want to talk about the mayor of Anchorage, and there's this internet stuff, and just some weird Instagram stories and stuff that's going on out there in the world too. But for the most part, the pregnancy's going well, man. I know there was this, when I get to the comments, I'll get to those next. It's funny how I'll get to the comments, but there was this one just weird comment, but that's just the internet, man. And I have a story that gonna lead me into what I'm going to talk about when it comes to the internet. But I'll get to that. I'll get to my soliloquy about that. So, there's already nonsense in the chat. This idiot. Why would any man watch Barbie unless he has a daughter? Like, okay, so because you have a wife or a girl, or you do a podcast where you review movies and you want to, do this, or you're curious because it's one of the fastest movies to reach $1 billion and you want to see what all the hype is. There's a litany of reasons other than your dumb, archaic, I'm a man, so I'm a man, everybody. I'm a man and I only do man stuff. It's like, what are you talking about? People are stupid. You know what I mean? Like, I'm telling you guys don't have to interact with as many people as probably I have to interact with on a daily basis with messages or comments, and people are legit stupid. You know what I mean? Like, close-minded, living in their own universe. There's no nuance to their thought process. Just stupidity flows out of their mouth. And normally it's just in the privacy of their home, or it's like around people who know them, and they go, man, that's dumb. But people put their dumb thoughts out for the world to see, and they never think, oh, I wonder if this is going to come across however. But I mean, everyone does this, even comic. When you're a comic, you put a joke out, and in your mind you think, well, this was funny to me. And then someone will pick apart that joke and you're like, what? That's not what I was thinking about, right? So it's like, it happens to everybody, But it's like, my God, is there, like, if you've been here before, and by the way, welcome to the podcast for all the people that have been here before and all the new people, and you're like, what the hell's going on? This is what it is. This is Erik Griffin live, Riffin with Griffin. My thoughts off the top of my head. Sometimes I'm really hilarious. Sometimes I'm really serious. Sometimes I'm angry. Sometimes I cry. It depends on what the subject is. And sometimes we just like talk. Sometimes I see a comment in the chat and I just think that, this is, somebody's mother didn't raise them properly. You know what I mean? And I feel sad for her, You never know what you're going to get. You know what I mean? So, but anyways, we're going to get to my internet rant later. So let's go into comments. Lots of good comments this week on the podcast and on some of my stand-up bits. I'm starting to put more stand-up bits online now. I got to start doing that because people don't even know I'm a stand-up. It's crazy, but people don't know I'm a stand-up, So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to start chopping stuff up and putting it out there. And I like putting out stand-up. I have no issue with like crowd work because I've put out crowd work, but I realize I think everybody thinks now that that's what stand-up is. The comic just making fun of people in the crowd, and that's not really what it is. It's an art form, it's jokes, punchlines. It makes people think, it makes people mad, it makes people laugh. Sometimes it's silly, sometimes it's like, you know what, but like I feel like we need to also have that on the internet too. So, And it doesn't always have to be like a special on Netflix. It's like sometimes here's a funny 5-minute bit that I did. I want to start putting those kind of things out so people know what I do when you come see me. I'm hilarious. You come see me live, you're going to have a good time. Even these troll haters, they say what they want, but they're cowards. They would never come up to me at the show and be, for the most part, they're going to have a good time. You know what I mean? Those hidden trolls, they don't even go out. They're incels. But the ones that think I'm a tough guy, they're going to come to the show and have a really great time and be like, man, you're funny, So either way. Let's see. Comments now. Let's do comments. Okay. I don't even, here we go. What is this? On Kel Marvin, I don't know, 8360. He goes, a friend of mine met a girl and decided to have her move in. After 5 minutes of the relationship, I came to visit, and the living room, there wasn't any piece of furniture or anything that he owned still there. Everything was replaced by her. Because I had this bit about like when you move in with a girl moves in with you, she hates all your stuff. I mean, it's true, man. It happens, Veronica Lopez, one of the regular here at Riffin with Griffin. Thank you, Veronica. She said, I just wanted to give Eric a hug when he got emotional. No doubt Eric is going to be such a great dad. So excited for you and Rachel. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Let's see. Anyway, of course, okay, I'm not that one's dumb. Who cares? Let's see. There was one down here I wanted to read. Let's see. People keep looking at the Lee Brothers podcast. They love looking at that one. People always come to my channel. They see that one with Bobby Lee and Steve Lee. We were doing a couple of movie review podcasts for me. It was when I first started doing it. And those are like really interesting episodes. So if, you should go back. And so like Marty Leon, gaming. This is my first time watching this episode. These three together are far better than any other current podcast trio. Appreciate that. Let's see. There was one comment I really wanted to get to. Here's one that's like, this is one like sort of like yes and no. I just like when people, this is the kind of comment I appreciate, even if they don't agree, even if they're not agreeing with me, right? So Lucum118 said, your nuanced argument about fat shaming was on point, but your statements about Lizzo lacked the same nuance. She's been on British talk shows saying how much she loves to drink and admittedly brings 3 hip flasks to the Grammys to share with Adele. If she's got a drinking culture on the road, then firing dancers for drinking, she needs to sort her ish out. That's very, I think that's unfair to say that look, the issue with the Lizzo situation is she shouldn't be hanging out with her employees. That's what that is. Not, hey, so anybody that drinks off the job, so like your CEO says to you, wherever you work, I'm sure you can't drink on the job. Okay? I'm sure you can't drink on the job, but wherever you work. And your boss is like, hey, the hell, you can't drink on the job, and he's telling you about that. You drink on the job and you get fired. Or if you're drinking and you come to work and you're drunk or it's affecting your work, your boss can be like, yeah, you got to go, right? You see your boss at a bar, he's having drinks with his friends. How dumb is it to be like, oh, so you drink? Oh, well, if you drink, that means, you get where I'm going with that? It's not the same thing. Just listen, I ain't defending whatever the culture, whatever's going on. All this is nonsense. Like all this is like, we don't know what really is going on with this Lizzo situation. Okay, we don't know what really happened, but what I do know, I can recognize some mistakes that she made. But the fact that she likes to have fun and drink, and she's bringing drinks to the Grammys to share with Adele, has nothing to do with her dancers being drunk and fat on the job. Those two things aren't mutually exclusive. So like bringing that up like that is a false equivalency. It doesn't even make sense. But I still understand the point you're trying to make, and it's because she was a part of a culture of wokeness. she became a symbol of like all this stuff that she probably didn't really want to live up to. So there's that part of it too, but that's the nuance of it. You know what I mean? But anyways, thanks for the comment either way. Agree or disagree, I appreciate the comment. Let's see. And then, of course, actually, I'm glad I'm looking at these comments because then I can just erase. I could just delete people, get out of here. I don't care what you have to say. Let's see. I saw two of the. Okay, so this is Rhythm Sean. I don't know, Rhythm Science something, some weird ass name. Guy has a long ass name that I'm not gonna. Sorry. Okay, Rhythmio, whatever. Put your freaking name on there. All right. He said, or she said, I don't know if it's he or she said, I saw two of the girls accusing Lizzo, and all I can say is, if those girls look drastically different than when they were hired, I can understand, but they might not have, and if they don't, Lizzo's team didn't just now figure it out. I mean, and then she said, or he said, nobody should be obligated to a happy hour. It's unpaid overtime and good reason to start looking for another job. See, that's on my line of thinking too. It's like you should not hang out with people that are you're employing. Like, they're not your friend. It's a difficult situation, and that's like, if these are girls you just auditioned and hired, unless it's your girl that you've known for years, then they're working for you. That's different. But that relationship is difficult, And I agree with you on like, yeah, but what's the margin of error for being a dancer for Lizzo? Like, you just made a big statement about what you think dancers should look like. So you see these dancers and you're like, whoa, they already fat is what you just said. Right? So like, but that's what's unfair to Lizzo. So just because she's fat, that means that there's no standards at all for a professional dancer. There's no standards. She's the star of the show, so she can look and feel however she wants. It's her show. You know what I mean? So it's weird. Again, it's a lot of nuance to it, but somebody said it's what is this? BL Thomas 09 said, I'll be honest with you, Eric, don't look forward to back to school too much. It could be hell. Love my kiddos, but goddamn. All right, you're making me scared on that one. Let's see here. There was one comment that I was looking for. I really want to get to it. Somebody said, so this was Stargirl. You have to go see the Barbie movie. This is your job, Griffin. Well, I did. I saw it. Oh, here's the one. VDub4159. Okay. Eric, as a single mom, it's so hard to hear how the absence truly affected the child even after all these years. I have a 13-year-old son, only child. Dad left when he was 3. It's like I'm listening to my son's inner thoughts when you speak about it. I have his big bro from program who's great, but I know it's not enough, and there's still a huge void. You're going to be a great dad. Good luck to you and Rachel. Then some people responded. I want to respond to this. Words have power, and that's what, the trolls know that. That's why they try to stab at you, because that's the only power they have. But sometimes you might say something and somebody takes it a certain way. Look, every situation is different. How I dealt with my traumas, or how I dealt with like compartmentalizing and like not having boundaries, like those are things that would have helped me realize these things earlier, but it didn't stop me from doing what I'm doing. My mom was great. My mom's my hero. I appreciate her so much, and your son will appreciate you. It's not a huge void. It's just something I didn't recognize that. You might have feelings of abandonment and you don't know where they came from. So once you recognize, this is because there was no dad in my life, right? It didn't mean that my life was bad. I just wish I would have recognized that earlier, and then it would have changed how I how I approached relationships. It would have changed how I approached friendships, and then realized, oh, that's why I'm feeling that way. Oh, then now I can overcome that. So, it's not like don't blame yourself. It's not your fault, whatever. Look, there's plenty of single moms out there raising great kids. There's 2-parent families raising monsters too. You know what I mean? It's all about the love and attention that you give, and the fact that you're aware of how things affect you, how other people's experiences, because that's what's the saying? Dumb people make the same mistakes. Smart people learn from their mistakes. Brilliant people learn from other people's mistakes. So you're attempting to be brilliant right now, and that is the sign of a great mom. So I wish you well, and know that it's going to be okay because you're on the right track. All right. Let's see. Beast, and this is the last one. Beast Bear fan. People don't like hearing opinions different from their own. I thought Eric's take on Lizzo's situation was insightful, even if it wasn't the mainstream take. Yeah, and that's all that I want to be, is like, So thank you so much for those comments. Leave your comments, and we will be there. Oh, there's the person right in chat right now. So there you go. I responded to your message. You're doing great. And then here's somebody in the chat, Sub Griff, Dead Reckoning was badass. It was. You know what I mean? It was. And I'm really surprised it's not doing as better than it's doing right now. So, but anyways, let's go into some stuff now that I wanted to talk about. And I'll tell you why I wanted to talk about certain things. And this is exactly like kind of on the same subject of like this mom hitting me up, But here's an example of something that made me think about what I'm going to talk about in terms of the internet, man. Internet's a scary place, man. So this doctor reveals mouthwash raises blood pressure, So he has this whole video that he goes into, you know what I mean? Where he talks about, I wonder if we can hear, let me see if you guys can hear the video, then I'll play it. Why not, Let's see, where is it? Hello? Oh, man. What's going on here? Wait. We can't hear it. I can't hear it either. That's the crazy part. I don't know how to. Did I mute this? Where's the sound? Anyways, this is always what happens. But anyways, he's saying how mouthwash kills bacteria, and but he's basically talking about. So this is what this made me think of. It's like there is so much information on the internet. Like so much, and so you see this and you go, well, who's this guy? How do we fact check him? Is he an expert? Is this something that is like, is this out there? Do I start Googling this now? Is this like a real thing? It's like, is mouthwash bad for you? And you could be on edge all the time about things you see on the internet, man. This is one of those things where you go, well, who's this doctor? Is he a kook? Is this like a reputable source? And then now you're looking at your mouthwash like, damn, do I not need this? And it's like, how do you take things with a grain of salt? How do you like decipher or differentiate between like, well, this is just a kook, or, hey, make sure you do your own research because that might not be, the right thing, as opposed to, what is this? But the thing is, like, how do you do your own research? Because what if you're Googling like, hey, mouthwash, and then this guy comes up, at some, he's a doctor at such and such, the Mayo Clinic or whatever it is, and you go, well, I believe this guy. You know what I mean? And it's just like you just get some Instagram post with information, and you just go, man. How do you figure this out, right? And it just made me think about being a father, man, and getting all of this information about kids on, as these posts on Instagram, So we're getting information from people. It's like there's a lot of great posts. It'll be like a mom going like 3 things I wish I knew as a first-time mom. And it'll be like, you should buy this, this, and this. And then you'll see all these different sort of like experts, quote unquote, and they'll have like about like, for instance, swaddling, You know, it's like where you like wrap the baby up like a burrito. And that helps them feel comfortable and they sleep better or whatever the thought is with that. So you have a school of thought that be like, yeah, you got to swaddle. It'll help you, help the kids. And then there's just like, then there'll be this new thing you'll see and they'll be like, turns out swaddling's not good. And then you're sitting here as a parent now and you're like, what? Well, which one is it? You know? And then it's like, there'll be another thing that comes up and it's a post about don't kiss your baby. Kissing babies are bad because their immune system is not ready for this, that, and this and that, you know? And you're like, oh my God. And then you'll see another post and it's you know, they're passing the baby around and everybody's kissing the baby. You're like, okay, well, which one is it? You know? And then it's like, there's another guy I saw, you know, he's, you know, well put together video and he's like, you know, you don't know what Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi devices do to your child. And you're like, what? And he's like, he's like, Wi-Fi cameras, you know, don't have these near the baby. And you're like, oh my God. And he's like, get some electromagnetic, whatever it was called, some kind of netting, or put tinfoil underneath the you know, and you're just like, what is this? And then there's another one about like, you know, not having a crib. You know, I saw like the baby's just on a mattress on the ground, you know, so you like, you know, you make sure everything's safe around this. And the baby's just sort of wandering at night, crawling and trying to see, oh, I want to play. No, actually, I want to sleep, you know. And then there's like, then there's studies about, I just saw another Instagram sort of video that they're showing, it's, you know, about a study they were having about how you praise your children. And the one was, it was very fascinating because he said, when you say like, hey, you did the best you can, or great job, that was a great effort. When you give effort praise as opposed to being like, you're so smart, you're the best, how that actually, it doesn't make them work harder. It was this whole thing where I was like, oh my God, how do you do it? It's my question for you parents out there. How do you do it? How do you maneuver through? How do you figure out what's the best thing with all of this information coming at our heads, man? It's like, my God, even something as small as the doctor reveals mouthwash raises blood pressure. You know, you see that. But I'll say one thing I love about Rachel is she's all over this kind of stuff. In terms, like we have organic, we have this weird deodorant that's like a cream. I love it though. But it's very no artificial whatever's in it, and you know it's like you know, and it really works. You know, I don't, you know, at the end of the day I'm smelling my underarms like, okay, this works good, as opposed to when you use regular deodorant and then like you hear these studies about deodorant, what that does to you, and you're kind of like, oh my God, now I can't use deodorant. But Rachel's all about that. Like we haven't been using mouthwash with alcohol for a while because she has this. You know, she goes to Sprouts or one of those crazy places, and she's like, this is the mouthwash I like, you know, and I go, okay. You know, we get some weird shit from Air One or whatever, you know. And so she's all over that kind of stuff. The toothpaste we have is organic. It's this weird brand. The shampoos and lotions and things that we use are made from this particular company that, you know, it's all natural, you know. So she's all over that kind of stuff, which I appreciate because I wouldn't even know what to do. But who even knows if that stuff is correct, right? Rachel's hair is everywhere. I'll be on the road and be like some long ass hair of hers. Anyway, tangent. So the internet is like, listen, I love the internet. I love it and hate it. It's probably the greatest and the worst thing to ever happen to our society, right? But there are good things. I love reaching out to authors. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I read books. And if I really enjoy it, I reach out to the author and be like, I loved this book. Thumbs up, you know? When I listen to an audiobook and the person reading is doing such a great job with voices and stuff, I'll reach out to them on the internet and be like, hey, love that. Love what you did. You know, love your work. And for the most part, people love that kind of praise because, they don't even know people are listening. You know, like you're reading an audiobook and the author's getting all the credit for everything. And, you're the job you're doing. You just kind of go, okay. And somebody reaches out and is like, hey, you really made this pop. I think that's great for people. So you have that part of the internet. That's great. You know, when I get praise, people are like, hey, I think you're funny. I love this joke, you know. But also there are people who enjoy chaos, you know. There's people who enjoy chaos. They enjoy riling people up, you know. They enjoy trolling. There's people that just enjoy trolling. It's their life, you know. So that's good for them. That's the part they like. They like going to a comics chat or a podcaster that they don't like or whatever, and they love like being like, yeah, you're the, you know, whatever they're gonna say. They love that, you know. It's like there's this guy on Twitter who, like, no matter what I tweet, he puts a picture of Target, some Target picture. You know what I mean? So like a couple times I thought it was funny, and I like even responded with like hashtag Target family, you know, thinking like, oh, no. This guy legit is trying to be an asshole. There's one thing you're just trying to be funny, but this guy. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, now you got to go. So I for the first time in like years, I blocked somebody. Because I was like, you know what? I don't want to deal with this anymore. So you just block them, you know. But it's fine though. I'm not mad at that. This is what gets this guy off. So like thumbs up to him. So I get it. He feels empowered and that's what the internet. That's what it is. But the thing is, the internet's too absolute. It's too headline. Like, you know, this is the headline, and there's no nuance, man. I don't believe that when you put people in a room and they really discuss a hot button issue, I don't believe that they believe the absolute information that comes out on the internet, the headlines, the things people want to get mad about. You know, I think if you get people in a room and have a discussion, no one's going to say being fat is okay. No one thinks being fat is okay. You know, everyone would think that it's better to be healthy so you can live longer, so you can have less blood, all the negatives of being out of shape and overweight, we all agree with them. But when you're a part of a narrative, you have to put out this nonsense that you don't believe it. You know, you like, stop. You don't believe that stuff. You believe that we should be nice to people, and you believe that there's a way to communicate things, but you don't like when there's some fat girl on Instagram going, I'm beautiful, y'all. It's like, no, she don't even believe that. Okay. Nobody believes that. But on the internet, we have to put out absolutes. Nobody, if you got even the most staunch transgender activist in a room with people having a nuanced discussion about trans women in sports, I guarantee you the discussion in that private, non-internet environment is going to be about, yes, there is something wrong with what's happening when trans women are playing sports with cis women or whatever the term is. Even though those people know, nobody believes that. Nobody believes that this is okay. And we have to figure it out. And there's a nuanced way. Have an open conversation about it. But when it's on the internet, it has to be absolute. You know, on the other side, in terms of the environment and global warming, I think if you got some staunch right-wing person, you got them in a room, they're intelligent enough to have like a conversation about, yes, we should do something better about the environment. You know, I don't think they believe that there's no such thing as global warming. Nobody, come on, man. 99, all scientists are telling us we are doing something to the environment, and let's work it out. It's not extreme. There's nuance to it. Discuss it. You know, like, did Biden steal the election? You know, that kind of stuff. You just go, what? You don't really believe that. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I just think that there's all these sort of like big topics that people discuss on the internet in a way that it has to be, you're a racist, you're terrible, you're this, or these big time topics, and we fight about it, you know, as opposed to discussing it, having a nuanced conversation. You know what I mean? And that's why the internet is like great, and it's also terrible. And as you know, a future parent, what are you supposed to believe? The information's overwhelming, Information's overwhelming. And somebody said, I see someone in the comment, Eric, it's always been this though. I agree with you. I agree that like even when there was only 3 news networks and it was newspapers and magazines, I believe that there was less information out there, even if those people were still doing that. But I feel like because there's so much information, we get everyone's opinion now. Now we're just like, we're letting things flow through that are like, we're just missing things. Like, are there aliens? And we're just not talking about it, And so just to move on, there's another there's another story that I feel like, man, this should be something we should be talking about more, man. Potential cancer breakthrough has groundbreaking pill annihilates all types of solid tumors in early study. When I hear that, I go, why are we talking about anything else? Right? Like, this is amazing. Even just to praise these people of being like, hey, what up? Like, good job. Tell us more. Maybe this is where, you want to send your money to help, with the research. How are we doing here? I just think that I hope that this is true. The article says the pill works by targeting a protein present in most cancers, which helps tumors grow and multiply with the body. This discovery is being defined as groundbreaking by many as a protein proliferating cell nuclear agent. PSNA was previously thought to be undegradable. I mean, so they're making huge breakthroughs in medical, and we're just sitting around not even realizing this is going on because it's probably not touching us. Like, I'm a part of any kind of neuroscience stuff about the brain, any kind of research in Alzheimer's and dementia. I get the newsletter and I'm looking at it, man. I'm seeing where are we at with this, and it's because it's personal to me. So I'm sure there's people out there that cancer has touched your life. Maybe you lost someone, or maybe someone has it. And you just look at this and you just go, man, we're getting close to really making breakthroughs, man. So, look out for that kind of stuff too. I hope that that's true. I hope that that's true, man. You know what I mean? So, all right, weird stories of the day before we get to the topic of the day, which was the Barbie movie. I saw this and I thought, this is like, what is this, man? Do you guys see this? This Chinese zoo is forced to deny its bears are humans in costumes. Like, what? Like, why would you do this? Right? It's like, are we at Disneyland? Like, are these bears, like, what's going on? Like, what kind of bear? Is this a real bear, or is this somebody in a costume? Doesn't that look crazy? Like, are there no more? Maybe they've killed all the animals. What is the purpose of this? You're like, I don't even know what I even want to say about this. I'm so flustered. I'm so flustered by this. Like, I wonder if they did it. Like, it says, a zoo in China has refused to grin and bear it after a video of one of the bears standing on its hind legs went viral, forcing officials to deny it was a human in costume. Like, is this a real bear? Is this a real bear? Like, oh God, do I, you know what? Let's do this. We're going to put a poll up. And if you're listening right now on Apple, and thank you for listening wherever you get your podcast and you listen, I appreciate that. You know, it's like you guys. It looks like you're at Disneyland, and this guy's walking around in a bear suit, and kids are walking up to it to take a picture. You know, that's what this looks like. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. You know, it's like, and then this, you know, this, and of course, this. How gangster would it be just to be like, look, yeah, it's a guy. We're sorry, you know. We're running out of animals, and the bear exhibit is one of our hot topics. It's right in an area that we got to have bears in there. So, you know, we have a guy go in and be a bear. Like, you know, just own it. Who would care? That's the thing. Who's going to the zoo getting a refund? You know, you walking up being like, that ain't a real bear. Give me my $12 back. I'm sure you still saw other animals. There was other stuff there. They just wanted to make sure you had a good time with the bear. I mean, I just, it's a show, right? First of all, a zoo is horrible anyway. Actually, this is better for the animals. You know, like, how crazy that we capture animals and put them in an enclosure for our enjoyment, and then people are getting on this zoo for having like a human being in a bear suit, making people think it's a real animal. This is like going to Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland or something. Like, who cares? Somebody said, Martin Leon in chat, it's a real bear. I know that guy personally. It's like, oh, this is what this, I don't know. This reminds me of Workaholics. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So it's like, it's just one of those weird stories on the internet. All right, let's go to another bizarre story on the internet. This one was like, you know, in the weird AI stuff, man. And I love AI. You know, I didn't make my description with AI this week, guys. I made it myself, so it's probably terrible. But like, I'll tell you, let me give you an AI tip, and they're not even a sponsor. I'm just saying this. There's this new app called Perplexity, and Google has its own version too called Bard, B-A-R-D. But I'm gonna tell you what I like about it. You go to Bard, it's the follow-up questions. So it's a new sort of internet search. So now you can search for something with AI, and then you could do a follow-up search on that search. So maybe you're like, what's the most common bear found in the wild? You know, and they say this, blah, 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 and you go. Then you could follow up like, well, will those bears attack if you go to this particular campground? And then they'll be like, oh, well, you know, from the news, blah, 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 that campground seems to be safe and you should probably be careful. And then they'll give you some things you can look at, and you could just keep going with like sort of like having a conversation with your search engine. And I think that that's great. So like, even if like let's say you're looking for an airline flight, you're like, hey, what are the cheapest flights to Vegas? You know, and then they say, yeah, it's got, well, are these flights full, or you know what I mean? Like, you could do follow-up questions. So I think you should look out for that. There's a few of them. One of them's called Perplexity, and the other one's Bard on Google's like sort of like beta testing this search engine. But I think all of those kinds of things like Twitter, Instagram, they're all going to have like a sort of AI helper. Even like website, like this website program I use. So I'm going to make a new website, but like it said, like it has an AI part of it, and you go, well, what are you making this website for? So I put comedian, and then it said, oh, well, here are the pages you should have. They created pages like tour dates, bio, and it's like based off the AI algorithm, right? So I think that there's like something to that. But here's in the weird category of AI is this TikToker. An Asian woman asked AI to improve her headshot, and it turned her white. I mean, this is like, what? This is on the what? Improve her headshot. Oh, man, dude. Tell me the AI is white without telling me the AI is white. Well, it's like if the AI becomes sentient and they're looking at all the stuff that's going on in the world and they're getting all the news articles and they're like, well, you know, if you really want to work in this world, girl, you got to be white. That's what the AI did. The AI was like, well, you're going to have trouble being Asian. From what we've studied, the AI was like, well, from what we've gathered about the world right now, you'll be better off being a white woman. It's like, oh man, this is, let's chalk this under the AI needs some work. Okay. The AI needs some yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. And then, all right. Oh, real quick, because we're getting, so I love Big Brother. Big Brother's back. It's a hot mess. I'll make this quick because I want to get to Barbie. So this guy, there's this guy on Big Brother, the new cast. So, you can watch Big Brother. You can watch Big Brother on Paramount Plus. You can see the live feeds. So it's just like the people in the Big Brother house right now. You could go to it and look and see what they're doing. It's part of the Big Brother experience. You get Paramount Plus, and and then that's what Big Brother is. It's 16 cameras, and they're watching the people 24 hours a day. Well, this guy, he forgot he's on camera. He's having a conversation. This is how he talks in real life. Listen, I'm not going to just get on this dude like he's the racist. It's like when you're in your privacy of your home, just like when you're in a car and a rap song comes on and the N-word is flying, you in your car and you saying whatever the words are. And so I believe this is one of those situations, and he got caught and he immediately was like, oh, I'm on camera. Sorry. They would since remove the video, but he was just saying it in a sentence like he probably normally talks at home in front of with his friends, And so I don't know if I don't necessarily think the guy's racist. It's just one of those words that it's so polarizing, and so they kicked him off the show. They kicked the one of the sort of good looking straight white guys off the show that probably had a chance to win. Let me get my quick thoughts on Big Brother is this, man, and I've said this in the past when I talk about Big Brother. I don't know what the hell they're doing. Okay, look, to me, Big Brother is best when it's 16 super attractive people acting horrible to try to win $1 million, okay, or whatever the prize money is. We want to see pretty people hooking up, trying to win money, and Big Brother brings the worst out of people's personality, okay? That's what we want to see. When you bring regular people in, it's the nicest way I'm going to say that, okay? Regular ass people. I don't want to see the girl that works at the post office acting horrible on TV. This is escapism. And so now it's all about we have to have, the everyman. And what I don't appreciate about it is they ugly, y'all. Why am I bullshitting? It's this, it's too many Erik Griffins on this show. You know what I mean? When I'm on a show, I'm always 5th to 8th lead on a show. I'm in that category. You got the leading man, the leading woman, the kids, the friends, whatever, and then I'm the guy. I'm the funny guy. I come in. You don't want to see a reality show of just me. It's come on. And on this show, they got these 3 sort of really fit, hunky white boys who are going to win, okay? Because of the skills challenge and the endurance and the physical element to Big Brother, which is a huge part of it. And then you got these people who you're like, who the hell's this? I don't know what they're doing. It's just my opinion, okay? I'm entitled to my opinion. You're entitled to yours. But it's the agenda of we got to stop, man. Sometimes it's okay to have pretty people. Sometimes it's okay to have pretty white people too. It's not. And if you're going to have different people, can we get to cream? There's pretty of any, because this is an image. It's TV. This isn't. I don't want to see real life. That's why I watch. It's escapism. It's you know what I mean? This is my guilty pleasure. My guilty pleasure is not going to the post office and watching regular folk. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm a monster. Call me a monster. I don't care. All right, y'all. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. No spoilers. Could be. I don't know. Barbie. I saw the Barbie movie, and I have some thoughts on it. Okay, so Barbie. It's like the fastest movie to $1 billion I think ever. I think that's one of the things I heard about the Barbie movie. Actually, I'm gonna go to this Bard, so you guys, and we'll ask Bard. I'll show you the prompts right now. Is Barbie the fastest movie to reach 1 billion? You ask it, and then it'll say, "Oh, it's not. No, Barbie is not the fastest movie to reach 1 billion. As of August 9th, 2023, the fastest movie to $1 billion is Avengers: Infinity War." Okay, makes sense. Which did it in 11 days. Barbie reached 1 billion in 17 days, making it the 8th fastest movie to reach $1 billion. Oh, that's great. And then they have the facts right here. It's great. That's how you do that, But it is the fastest female-directed movie to reach $1 billion, and it's like the most popular movie right now. So, yeah, look, a quick fact check right there with Bard, and then you could do follow-up questions, which is great. So we went to go see Barbie. I didn't want to see it without Rachel, but I did want to see it for the podcast purposes, and I was fascinated to go by. Everybody's so, what is this movie? So I'll give you my thoughts. All right. First of all, I'm watching it, and the first part of the movie, I was just turned off. I was like, what is this? It just felt woke, and it just felt like there was an agenda, right, at first. So there was like, what is this? There's a girl in a wheelchair. Anytime I see somebody in a wheelchair in a movie, in a dance scene, I'm like, what are we doing? That's my initial thought, only because it's like, how we're so overcorrecting all the time on everything. No shade on people in wheelchairs. It's like, good for you, good, but it's like, that's just the thought it gives you because of the society we're living in right now. This sort of like, I'm a good person police, right? And so then I'm watching, and it's a very weird movie. It's not like in reality, because I always wonder, like, what are they going to do, right? And then I'm watching, and then there's parts of it where I'm just kind of like, I don't know who this is for. I didn't know what it was, I look over at Rachel. She's captivated. Some of the jokes were funny. Like, a lot of the jokes were funny. A lot of the jokes were just like stale jokes, all those like old school jokes that women say about men, It's like, oh, men like the good fellas, and you know what I mean? Like all those kind of jokes. Oh, really? This is the jokes? It's like stale ass men jokes, right? And then there's parts of it like Will Ferrell was funny, and I thought Helen Mirren as the narrator, she said some really funny lines. The movie was very aware of itself. Margot Robbie did a great job as being this sort of abstract character, as being this like, it was well done in terms of that, right? And then by the end of the movie, I was like, oh, but I'll tell you my genuine thoughts about it is, I realized that this movie wasn't for me. Like, literally, like, not even speaking my language. And what do I mean by that? Like, when you watch most movies that I like action movies. I like comedies. And a lot of these types of movies are centered around men. Action movies are about men doing man shit, And if there is a woman in the movie, it'll be like, oh, she's this strong character, but it's still surrounded by men doing stuff for men, right? Even if it's a love story, women like love story. The love story is about a woman trying to get a man, and then the end, it's about her getting the man, right? So there's always a man involved. I realized I'm looking at Barbie, and I'm like, oh, this isn't for me. This is like a movie that literally was speaking to women, like speaking whatever language it is that they understand, whatever. That's just my takeaway of it. I felt like this wasn't for men. But that doesn't mean that we don't watch it. It's not meaning like, just like in the same way a woman could go see Avengers and have a good time, you can go to this movie and have a good time, and you just lose yourself into like whatever this message they're trying to send, and just enjoy the parts of the movie. But there just were moments in it that I was like, I look over at Rachel and she's crying at something, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm looking around the theater and I'm seeing like, girls laughing and women with their daughters, and they're just like enjoying moments that I'm just kind of looking at it and being like, okay, all right, cool, right? But I was like, and I thought, oh, well, that's great. I thought if I had a daughter, I would want to take her to see this movie. I would be like, oh, is this empowering to some women? Probably. You know, there was like a speech that what's her name? America, is that her name? Whatever one of the stars of the movie, she made that I was like, huh, you know? And I feel like she was speaking to women for women. And as a guy, you listen and you go, okay, like we would have our side, you know what I mean? And they tried to show a little bit of that, right? With Ken and what was going on with the Ken world and all that. But it was still through the prism and perspective, you know, for women, you know what I mean? I mean, like it's abstract, just like the movie was, you know. Like I'm not saying that the movie was made. I'm not saying that the movie was made for women and only women to watch. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it was a movie made for women. Like this is like, finally, it's like no, this movie doesn't have to be about men. It doesn't have to be a woman trying to get a man. All that was deliberate. Like. There's deliberate things happen in this movie where it's like, no, this is a movie for women. Like in the same way that like when you go see a you know, some kind of like a guy overcoming and getting revenge and you're like, yeah, I know how that feels. And maybe a woman goes to the movie and she might be like, well, I don't feel the same way, but I enjoyed this movie. I'm saying I enjoyed the movie. I'm not trying to get into some political thing right now. I'm not, you're not understand. If you're not understanding what I'm saying, I actually don't care. I'm saying that I believe that this movie was made in a language that women understand better than men do. And the message that men were supposed to receive is a message that we receive from women all the time about like the patriarchy and like, you know, how that message is out there already, you know, but this is like the messaging and the voice of the movie is like a great voice, a great female voice, you know? You know what I mean? It's like, somebody's like, this is such a fascinating question in the chat right now. It's like, it's just a movie. Why go this deep into it? Because it's a fucking podcast, bitch. And that's what you fucking do on a podcast. Like, that's what I'm saying right there. This is what this is. This is what you watch because I'm riffing with Griffin and I talk about shit and I get deep with it. That's why. What do you mean? What do you mean? Why you think you watching? Like people are so crazy. Anyway, real moment I just had right there. Anyways, and I really enjoyed that part of the movie. So when I left it and I was like, oh, there were parts I didn't like. There were parts I thought were funny. And then there were parts I thought was like, you know, the imaging of it and you know, as a comic, I enjoyed the jokes, some of the jokes I was like, that's corny, but I enjoyed other ones. And at the end of the day, I was like, oh, that was an enjoyable movie. But as I thought about it, I was like, well, what was this about? Or what was the point of this? Or why everybody's so fascinated about it? And I think it's like I said, I think it was like a great movie that was in a voice for women, you know. It was great, you know, and I think a lot of times there could be more movies like this. Like I had a review of Black Widow. I enjoyed Black Widow, you know, the Scarlett Johansson produced one because it was like, oh, she was the star. It was like the emotions that women bring to things, and it had that and the action. So I was like, it made for a great movie. I liked that, you know, and I was like, oh, I think movies could benefit from having this in it, having this voice. But you know, this movie had there was a message that was supposed to be, you know, put out, right? But I think moving forward, there could be other movies that are just, you know, focused on a female voice, if that makes sense, you know. But anyways, yeah, the male version of this was G.I. Joe. You know what I mean? Anyways, guys, I appreciate you being here as always. You know, this is how we do here. Oh, and you know, and I thought, like I say, I thought Barbie was great, and I'll give it like, you know, 8 woo woos. Woo 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 woo. There we go. Let's see. Sorry. And we're good. We're done. You know what we do? We do it old man style, as always. It's time for the old man beats. Old man flows. I like my guy Fishy. Let's see another one of his songs. But as always, thank you for watching Riffin with Griffin. I appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share. Make sure you come back. Hit me on Twitch. Hit me on the Patreon. And as always, I appreciate you guys coming every week to Riffin with Griffin. If you're here for the first time, thank you. But as we do, always at this time, 4, 3, 2, we hit you with that. RapRecap. Woo! Fishy beat. Did it again. Went to a movie with my friend. She's my wife. The love of my life. Went and saw Barbie. Nothing rhymes with Barbie. Should've went to Arby. Movie was good. It was fresh. There's Fishy beats. Give him a check. Doing it right. They made that Asian white. Internet. Check your neck. Thank you for watching and listening and glisten. Let me see who won the poll. They said it's a real bear. Oh! All right, y'all. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching Riffin with Griffin. If you want to send a beat, Erik at ericgriffin.com. Love y'all, even the trolls. And I'll see you next week.